what's going on, good kind people? Lee Sanders here, 411mania.com, columnist and reporter. It's the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders, and if I'm here, that only means one thing. It's Thursday night, and we are here talking about another episode of WOW Women of Wrestling. Yes, you know we've been doing this for you guys every single Thursday night now in our new time slots, and I'm telling you, I'm loving the Thursday night slots a lot better. I don't know about you guys. Hopefully you've been able to tune in, but most importantly, you've been able to go in and check out on all of the action you may have missed if you didn't have access to WOW Women of Wrestling when it was on Access TV the last season a couple of years ago, as now you can access all the episodes, including the lost episodes, on the CW app and also on Pluto TV, two outlets that you can check out for free. So no excuses, y'all should be on top of this already. This go round, we are talking about episode 24 of WOW Women of Wrestling, as yours truly has been going through these lost episodes that never aired. These are full, complete episodes, and from what I am seeing so far, production-wise, the way these episodes have been produced, it is 100% complete. Now, we did make note of the fact that I believe it was on the last WOW recap or the recap before, there was a little bit of audio sync issues, a little bit of terrible audio that honestly I was a little bit surprised it didn't get cleaned up a little bit, but for the most part, out of 100%, 90% the episode was pretty solid. But as we've seen with these lost episodes so far, they're banging. They are banging fire. If you've been checking out WOW Women of Wrestling, perhaps as a result of these recap shows, recap and reaction edition shows that I've been doing, definitely sound off in the comment section and let me know, as I love to hear from you all. By the way, mad shout out to those of you that's been checking out the WOW recaps, whether you're checking it out in the webcast format or you're checking it out in audio format. I definitely just want to take the time out and thank you guys that's been checking it out, but particularly you guys that's been checking it out in audio format. I was looking at the stats over the weekend, and I see that we've been picking up a nice, good, it's a relatively small turnout of folks that check out the WOW recaps in audio format, but the numbers are growing, and I'm seeing consistency as far as the steadiness of those numbers, and how it's slightly been increasing. So we'll definitely keep pumping these out, and I tell you what, once we get new episodes dropping this fall, oh man, I'm going to be all over it. Okay, so this week was pretty damn solid of an episode that I checked out in episode 24, as this is another lost episode. Everything began with the Beast being introduced by Shaw Guerrero, Beast coming down to the ring, and she's been making note of everything that she's been hearing these past couple of weeks. She knows, Beast that is, that she has a big old target on her back as the new WOW Women of Wrestling champion, and she is bout it. If somebody wants to step up to the plate and they want to try to take their best shot against her for the championship, have at it, which led to a really good setup here in this introduction by the Beast. She laid out the gauntlet. She laid out the challenge. She let it be known crystal clear that if anybody in the back wants a shot at her for her championship, then step on up to the plate. Anybody that wants to step up and fight her one-on-one, go ahead. Now, David McLean and crew, they have revealed right off the break, hey, for those of you that maybe haven't been keeping up with the episodes, we already know who the new number one contender is that's going to be facing Beast for the championship. That's already been settled. Yes, it has been, as the person that won that right was Jungle Girl from the previous episode. And we saw she did any and everything by any means necessary to become the new number one contender to face Beast for the championship. But in either case, Beast, she's laying the gauntlet down right here. So who would step up to the plate to challenge the WOW Women of Wrestling champion? Well, it would be none other than I Need Your Discipline. I need your help. I need your discipline. You know, once I start, I cannot stop myself. Of course, I'm talking about little 9-inch nails for you there, but I just feel that Disciplinarian just needs to start coming out to that theme. I've been saying that for the longest. My brother in arms, Anthony Missionary Thomas, Wrestling Soup, shout out to him. When I went to the Blue Moon, he hooks up with me and we do these WOW recaps and all. He knows how much I've been wanting to hear Disciplinarian come out to that freaking tune. I think that just suits her so freaking well. But Disciplinarian would answer the challenge. So she comes out with Samantha Smart, and pretty much, bam, we got ourselves a nice little match right here. Disciplinarian held her own pretty damn good. Yeah, I gotta say, compared to Beast, I was expecting for Disciplinarian not to have that much size when compared to Beast, but damn, gotta say, I was pretty impressed that Disciplinarian had a little bit of bulk on her, you know, when matching it up. Size, stature, just everything was matching up quite nicely. Disciplinarian had a little bit of offense that was going on. I like how Samantha Smart tried to get involved and she was trying to help out her girl a little bit, called herself grabbing on the leg of the Beast. Beast kind of really not selling it almost. It was kind of a delayed reaction. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to drop right here from the outside of the apron. Let me go ahead and sell that, right? And I just love how she was a bit reluctant about that. And to the point, not really focusing so much on Samantha Smart. It was almost the way she was selling it. Samantha Smart was just this little tiny mosquito that Beast wasn't really noticing. So basically, you know how sometimes mosquitoes will get on you and they'll just help themselves and you don't realize that they did their thing until after the fact, after they've already had their meal, they've rolled out, and now you're going, oh, damn, why am I itching all of a sudden? That's because they had a freaking meal on you, man. Thanks for the meal. Come back later for dessert, right? It's kind of one of those type of deals. And that is how freaking Beast was selling some of the shenanigans that was going on with Samantha Smart while the referee was a little bit distracted. But for the little bit of offense that Disciplinarian was able to get in there, it was a little something. But when it was all said and done, this was pretty much a squash match. This match, I didn't even keep track of the time lengths for this one, but I can definitely tell you this match didn't even go 10 minutes. This match, I don't believe even went 6 minutes. I would be shocked to hear if this match went 6 minutes. This came off as if possibly a 3-minute match at most. I'd be shocked if it was a 4-minute match. But yeah, it was that short of a match. Spear, lights out. That's all she wrote. 1, 2, 3. Beast picking up the W right here. Post-match, Samantha Smart tried to extract a bit of revenge on her fallen comrade. She called herself taking her trademark ruler and taking it to the back of the Beast. And that yardstick, man, that ruler, that bad boy just pretty much broke in half. And all Samantha Smart had was about a quarter of an inch left. And she tried to pass it off to the referee once Beast turned around. Beast, it stung her just a little bit, but not to the point that Beast fell on her back. You know, she just did a little bit of the heck was that? You know, it was almost kind of as if somebody was just maybe pulling at her bra strap a little bit, and maybe there was a little hook pointy part that just, you kind of one of those. You women know how it is sometimes. I hear it from you all the time. I know once in the blue moon, I hear it from the wifey. Like, what's going on? You all right? Like, it's my bra. Oh, okay. Well, let me help you out, right? One of those type of deals. So I like the way Beast pretty much had sold that as she turned around and she's looking at Samantha Smart. All you got going on in your head is you done it now. You gone and made a big mistake, and I can't allow you to think you could just walk away. So turn around, right? I mean, she's literally in that type of mood right now. And Samantha Smart, bless her heart, she tried to take that butt whipping like a true soldier, but oh, she got owned big time. She pretty much got choke slammed for her shenanigans. Choke slam so good that Samantha Smart upon landing on her back from the choke slam, glasses popped off her face. That's how good that choke slam was by the Beast. Beast laying those girls out, pretty much walking on, handling her business. I've really been enjoying Beast as the champion so far. Take no prisoners, not backing down from any fights, not taking no BS from anybody. She's pretty much marking her territory. Come on, come in, come get some. That's pretty much how she's laying it out. And I like the fact that they've been letting her talk just a tiny bit more. You don't need to have her, given how her character is set up and everything, you don't need to have her out there cutting lengthy promos. Just have her out there, be short to the point. Examples like on this episode that featured her talking, oozing with charisma. I'm loving it. I'm freaking loving it. The way she walks to the scene, the way she commands your attention, all eyes are on her when she steps up to that plate, man. And she does look like a freaking beast. She legit does. I mean that in the most complimentary way. We get a recap of Jungle Girl and everything that led to her becoming the new number one contender from last week's episode number 23 of Wild Women of Wrestling. So that was a nice little recap, as David McClain would tell us later on, right before the main event match for this episode, that the paperwork has been filled out. It's been signed, sealed, delivered. X's and O's, all the legal mumbo jumbo has been taken care of. It's official. Jungle Girl will be facing Beast for the Wild Women of Wrestling Championship. Now, as far as when that's going to happen, remains to be seen, because you're under the impression, okay, all right, next week. We did not hear David McClain say next week. We did not hear him say that it's going to be going down on the next episode. So hopefully in the next maybe 3 episodes, we're going to hear something about that. We also get a Bully Busters recap, basically letting you know how the Bully Busters came to be. And this one was for very good reason, because at this point you're going, wow, so we're going from one recap to another. Okay, a little bit of a slow episode here, huh? Where we're doing a lot of recaps here. What's going on? We're doing a best of compilation. What's going on? But no, with this one in particular, they really were putting the emphasis on the match that was getting ready to come, which involved Bully Busters, Steffi Slays in action against Malaya Hosaka. Now, remember, Steffi Slays' tag partner there, she was taken out by EXILE a couple of episodes ago. So while she's out on the shelf, pretty much recovering from her injuries, Steffi Slays is pretty much handling her business on her own, right? And she's kind of fending for herself, but she's doing it the best way that she possibly can. But it was the young veteran here in Malaya Hosaka taking on the up-and-comer here in Steffi Slays. And I enjoyed this for what it was worth. I definitely had enjoyed this one-on-one matchup for what it was worth. Little bit of interference, whole lot of interference that was going on in this one. Of course, her tag partner, Steffi Slays' tag partner in the Bully Busters, Keita Rush, I'm speaking about Keita Rush, got taken out a while back. Now, here's the thing in regards to this particular match, and I got to give David McClain a lot of props here, because up to this point, we still haven't, as far as I was concerned, and I stressed that this was a little bit of an issue for me at least, since I was watching these episodes of WoW, which is okay, what exactly is the point here of EXILE doing their thing, running roughshod and all that in WoW Women of Wrestling? What is her agenda? Why is she so bitter? Why is she so damn angry? What really is going on here? And David McLean made it be crystal clear as she was coming out for her one-on-one match against Steffi Slays. And I just thought it was brilliant because there's some things that honestly it just doesn't come off well. And I know that WoW does a really good job in giving you nice little origin stories and things of that nature. You know, they try to give you a tiny little bit of breadcrumbs here and there, try to get your brain going on. Okay, what's going on with this particular story arc? Where are we going here with this? And you know, it's not really a case where you got to have Columbo on the case, but they give you just enough to okay, need to keep my eyes peeled on that one. But in regards to EXILE, it really wasn't translating, I personally feel, on just, okay, why are we doing this here? What's going on with this stable? David McLean let it be crystal clear what Malaya Hosaka and this whole EXILE stable is all about. This is it in a nutshell. I don't know how many of you guys that saw all these episodes. I don't know how many of you guys, might have missed it. But in a nutshell, he said that Malaya Hosaka has become very bitter. She's become very sour over the current status of women's professional wrestling. She doesn't like the fact that there's no longer the honoring traditions of wrestling from the time in which she grew up getting involved in wrestling. And, she can have it her way. She wants to have it all go back to basics, basically. She wants it to go back to simpler times, the times that she remembers. Okay. Now, all this stuff I'm adding on to it. Pretty much the only thing David McLean said was, she's gotten bitter, sour over the current status of professional wrestling, not honoring the traditions of yesterday that she grew up in. So everything else past that has been me adding on. Okay. So in the process of all of this that you have going on, Malaya Hosaka's mindset is she's going to be taking anybody else out as a result. Anybody and everybody that she feels does not even remind her, is not even reminiscent of those traditions, the ways, the eras and all that of women's wrestling that she was a part of and coming up and all that. So, okay, now we know the mission statement of EXILE. Got it? Good, right? It's like, okay, I can get behind that. That's simple. So, and even though the Bully Busters mean well, they're trying to, they're trying to rally against bullies. These girls know firsthand what it was like to be picked on and the great little organization that they're doing on the side and all of that. Despite all of that, you would think surely that's something that Malaya Hosaka could get behind and everything. But the fact that Keita Rush, is somebody that used to dip into a little bit of MA and all that, right? Malaya Hosaka is pretty much sour over that. I'm sure she's sour over quite a few things, okay? But we don't need to go too deep in that because there's so many layers to that, to the point if you wanted to maybe poke some holes. Yeah, but just run with it for now. Just run with it. You know the mission statement here. Good matchup for what it was worth. Malaya Hosaka taking on Steffi Slays, but this match kind of similar to some of the other times that we've seen EXILE in action. This has pretty much been their calling card now, really. And hopefully one of the next times we see these guys go at it, David McLean is going to make sure that, hey, no DQ, no disqualification, no count out, none of that. No, only way victory is going to go down is got to be by pinfall or it's going to be submission. Because once again, we saw EXILE, the numbers game. It was just too much for Steffi Slays. Looked as though a couple of times Steffi Slays was going to put in a upset. Seriously, looked as though she was about to have Malaya Hosaka's number. And then, something would go down where Malaya Hosaka would kick out. Well, for the girls in Genesis and Exodus, they just saw one too many near falls there, too many close calls, and they decided when it counted the most, make their presence felt. They got into the ring and just started stomping a mud hole on Steffi Slays. As a result of that, no disqualification, DQ. The match ended in a DQ. So you're being technical. Steffi Slays won via DQ. But they were putting a hurting on Steffi Slays post match. Luckily, Kiera Hogan came down to the scene and she had saved Steffi Slays. As actually, now that I'm really stopping to think about it, I know Exile did a number on Diamante, but I don't really recall Keita Rush. I don't really recall her being taken out, because I know David McClain and them on this episode, they said that Kiera Hogan was out there trying to extract some revenge because they pretty much had taken out her partner, Diamante. So no telling how long Diamante is gonna be out, and if as a result of that, Kiera Hogan, aka Fire, pretty much is gonna align herself with the Bully Busters, and now you have a nice, set of team right here where they could take on Exile. But remember, there's also another thing that we need to highlight here. David McClain is saying that Malaya Hosaka's Genesis, they're trying to become the tag team champions. Why not go for all the championships that's in the promotion? But just the fact that, we've heard that now officially from David McClain on this episode, they're trying to become the tag champions. Okay, so I guess it's safe to say we're not going to be seeing them probably anytime soon trying to gun after the Beasts, the Jungle Girls, the Tessa Blanchards, the Serpentines. You feel what I'm saying? So now that we're focused now, tag division, tag titles. Okay, so they're pretty much going to step on any and everyone here so they can have it their way. I'm very curious to see how all this is going to play itself out. But yeah, it looks like for at least the foreseeable future, Kiera Hogan, Steffi Slays, Keita Rush, that's going to be your new team on the horizon to try to balance things out there with Exile. So we'll see how that pans out. But let's not forget, Diamante might be on the shelf, but she is still one half of the champions there. So some revenge is gonna have to come at some point where the tag champs go on ahead and give those girls a tag title shot there in Exile. So more on that as it comes. Third matchup of the evening for this episode, Serpentine taking on Reina Reyes. Serpentine, aka Thunder Rosa, in action against Reina Reyes. Oh, I loved this. I loved this matchup. Great one-on-one between these two girls. I loved it for what it was worth. I hated the fact that there was interference in this one because I felt it really was not needed. It really should have just been about these two girls just going at it. They complement each other very well. And if you guys had checked out the Wednesday edition of the RCWR show, I was very high with my compliments on Thunder Rosa taking on Mercedes Martinez for this week's AEW Dynamite. But I'm looking at a match such as Serpentine here taking on Reina Reyes, and I just couldn't help but go, man, we got to do something with Reina Reyes back in the States. I'm telling you, if AEW is looking to add some more international flavor there, for their women's division, Reina Reyes would definitely do some serious wonders. Of all the matches for this episode 24 of Wild Women of Wrestling, I gotta single this one out the most, as I found myself really entertained by the effort that both of these girls were putting on. Really good back and forth. Nice case of some great high flying lucha libre style action that was going on here. Now, closing moments of this, Sophia Lopez, a couple of times her presence was felt as far as trying to cause a little bit of interference, taking advantage while the ref was distracted. But when it counted the most, she hit pay dirt. But boy, I tell you, did it backfire, because final moments of this one, she called herself trying to distract the referee, which had set up Serpentine, aka Thunder Rosa, to grab that trademark steel briefcase that Sophia Lopez likes to take around with her. We've seen these past couple of times now. And Serpentine called herself taking that briefcase and trying to hit Reina Reyes with it. Reina manages to dodge the briefcase, and pretty much while the briefcase was still, pretty much in Serpentine's face, it was a great counter slash counter attack sequence that went down here. Reina Reyes did this spinning kick from out of nowhere, and wham, her foot just connected to that steel briefcase that connected to Serpentine's face. Serpentine was pretty much laid out, and this came right after. Reina Reyes had went up to the top turnbuckle, and she was looking for a spinning twister splash slash pin attempt. It was a pretty sweet move that she was doing. She went up to the top turnbuckle, and she pretty much did this spinning corkscrew type of splash onto Serpentina. It was pretty badass. And that's when Sophia Lopez jumped up on the apron and was trying to distract the referee and everything. And we saw that sequence that I just mentioned a few seconds ago play out. And then add more insult to injury, Reina Reyes just pretty much hurried up, got into the face of Sophia Lopez while she was still on the ropes. Pimp slapped the hell out of her. I mean, slapped her so silly. Sophia just knocked off of the freaking apron, went in for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Reina Reyes picking up the W. Great matchup. Great matchup right here. So, might be time to leave that briefcase in the back, because as we've seen a couple of times now, that briefcase has backfired. It has backfired quite a bit here. But hey, I guess it depends on who's at the receiving end of that briefcase, right? Now, in a new interesting development, right before our main event match, we saw Serpentine with Sophia Lopez. They were going into their office slash locker room, their little chill area. Tessa Blanchard was waiting for them, and she said, "Hey, we need to talk." And Serpentine asked for Tessa Blanchard to get up from, I guess, Sophia Lopez's chair. And at that point, they had the camera crew roll out of the office. So I would suspect that Tessa Blanchard is still pretty salty over what went down a couple of episodes ago. As remember, initially, Tessa Blanchard was under the impression that there was a understanding that Tessa was going to be the number one contender to face Beast for the championship and not Serpentine. So I would imagine some hashing out is going to be going down here, and somehow Sophia Lopez is going to do everything in her power to make everything right with Tessa Blanchard. At least you would assume this is what Tessa is trying to get set up. We'll have to see how this plays out over the next couple of episodes. Main event match. Love this. This was a freaking brawl. I enjoyed this. 6-woman tag matchup as Princess Aussie teams up with Holidead and Voodoo Doll against the Psycho Sisters, Mesmeriah, Fury, and Razor. This was your main event match, 6-woman tag match. Nice change of pace. The animosity that's been building between both of these respected factions has pretty much led us up to this point with this episode where these teams were colliding, and it was just pure chaos. I was loving it. I loved the first half of this tag match as everything was being contested inside of the ring. Everybody got to get in their stuff. Everybody got in some pretty good spots. Honestly, Princess Aussie, I really was taken back by, because as we saw that was starting to play out when it was on Access TV, we saw Princess Aussie going down this dark path by Voodoo Doll and Holidead, and it's been awesome seeing the transformation of Princess Aussie. It's almost complete, but she is just doing some really awesome, freakish stuff. Her mannerisms, the way that she's acting so cold and very, very dead like, almost zombie like, psychotic, a little touch of psychotic there. I'm loving the way that she is selling the mannerisms and everything. Really, if you really stop and think about it, she's almost doing a 180 on how she normally would perform in the ring, when she was just a good guy. And now, and she's pretty much gone the dark side and everything. It's pretty badass how she's operating here. But all of the girls here put in a pretty damn good effort. Again, nice change of pace that they did for this 6 woman tag match here. Of course, you're not going to find me saying anything bad about my girls there and the Psycho Sisters, especially Razor. I love Razor, man. She's freaking badass. What can I say about Razor? And Mesmeriah, don't even get me started on Mesmeriah. All those girls, I really fucking I dig them. I dig them. They are fucking badass. But Razor's pretty freaking cool, because I happen to follow her on Twitter. If you want to, check out some people that's posting some really good stuff on social media, does a pretty good job interacting with their fan base and everything, I would definitely recommend you follow Razor. You can check her out if you really want to make sure that you're following the actual account, because it can be kind of tricky following some of these WoW superheroes that you come across on these shows. And you'll notice that, okay, it looks like they're just doing a actual WoW account. All they're doing is tweeting, posting stuff about WoW. Okay, that's nice, but what about an account where they're actually doing something with their fan base? What's up with that? And this is where it kind of pays to either know the wrestler's actual name, or, just put in that stage name in a Bing Google search, and you can easily come across their social handles that way. You're not doing anything stalkerish or anything like that, because some of them, the way they got their account set up, they'll either link it to their WoW profile, or they will, maybe you'll see who retweeted it, who liked it. Usually there's a way you can kind of figure it out. I'm trying to actually find her actual Twitter account, because she is always posting something. She's always posting some really fun, insightful stuff here. If you guys can bear with me a second, I can actually, let me see here. I can actually tell you which account it is that you want to be following. But yeah, all of them, I think, all the wrestling promotions, I think the girls from the WoW Women of Wrestling promotion as a whole, they do a really good job in interacting with their fan base. Hell, even the actual WoW Superheroes account, even they do a pretty good job in interacting with their fan base as well. And of all the times I'm trying to find her Twitter account where she's most active, I thought for sure I was going to be seeing a post, and I'm not seeing anything right now. So I'm actually looking at my notifications. Sarah the Rebel. That's the account that you want to follow Razor on. She's at Sarah the Rebel. always active, always interacting with her fan base. She's freaking badass. She honestly, she reminds me of somebody that I used to grow up with. That had dreams and aspirations of being a pro wrestler and all that. She reminds me a lot of a person that I used to know. I see a lot of her personality and all of that when I look at Razor. But Razor is badass. I love Razor. She's freaking awesome. And I told you guys that the first half of this match, was good because it was in the ring. Chaos was just all outside of the ring. Everybody was getting in crazy spots. But then it really starts getting good when they take the action outside of the ring. They're going through the fans, and something that I thought was just okay, well, that's a first. That's pretty badass. They were fighting over by the entrance, basically. They were fighting over by the concession area, the memorabilia area, and you see all the photos that's up on the tables, t-shirts, things of that nature. And they're just beating the crap out of each other over there, particularly Razor and Princess Aussie. I just love seeing Razor choking the hell out of Princess Aussie over there at the memorabilia table. And Aussie is just selling it like a mofo. I was just looking at that and I was just howling with great laughter. Laughter because I was having a ball watching this, and I just felt, and I literally at one point I said, as I was watching this and I had it play on the TV, I said, "That's how you sell it, goddammit. That's how you do it. Yes, yes, keep doing it." I was loving it. And then you had, I think, Voodoo and maybe it was Mesmeriah, but somebody was basically fighting out on the street because you saw them pretty much out on the entrance. They went outside of the arena, and they were literally on the street brawling. I'm going, yo, this is great. The only thing I did not like was how the show ended. The show ended with the Psycho Sisters back in the ring, and they pretty much said something along the lines of, "Now you know why we're the Psycho Sisters," or something. I'm thinking to myself, no, that's not how you ended. You freaking ended with the chaotic brawl, right? You got people beating each other's ass in the fans section. You got people beating each other's ass over here by the memorabilia table. You got people beating each other's ass over by the concession area. You got people beating each other's asses pretty much outside on the sidewalk. No, you end it like that. You have David McClain and them in it. Folks, we gotta go. We will try to figure out if we can make any sense out of all of this pandemonium that's come about. Try to make sense of everything. Try to restore order. And I'm pretty sure that next episode of WoW, we're going to be dealing with the aftermath of this, and we'll definitely address it on the next episode of WoW, folks. But for now, we got to go. It's too crazy. It's too crazy out here. Too hot to call here. We're out of here, folks. I would have preferred it if they just would have ended it like that. That would have been badass rather than go back and somehow miraculously all three of the girls are back in the ring. Come on. No, I didn't like that. Other than that, though, for what it was worth, a great 6-woman tag match to pretty much wrap up this episode of WoW Women of Wrestling, episode 24. It was pretty good. So for me, a little bit of something for everybody. Just really depended what your cup of tea was. If all you cared about was Beast, okay, you got that. If you're starting to feel the whole Exile stable, okay, you got a little bit of that. If you were into Serpentine, Reina Reyes, okay, you got that. You want some 6-woman tag action? Okay, you got that. It's pretty nice how they did it right here. It was pretty badass. So that was WoW, Women of Wrestling, episode 24. Really starting to come together here. I can't wait to see the outcome of Tessa Blanchard talking with Sophia Lopez and Serpentine, and how bread's going to be broken there. Peace be made amongst all the parties involved. I can't wait to see how that's gonna, you know, put a nice little bookend on that one. Make cooler heads prevail for the time being. Exile continuing to stick it. I'm looking forward to see how David McLean is gonna pretty much put a nip on this, because we're continuing to see them run roughshod, and they don't care about competition, right? Because on the one hand, it's they do care about competition, but then on the other hand, when things aren't going their way, they're very quick to just take a DQ and beat that behind. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out over the next 2 to 3 episodes in regards to them. Yeah, good stuff though. Good stuff though. So check that episode out when you get a chance. Look, you don't need to pay any type of a subscription fee to check out WoW Women of Wrestling on the CW app or on Pluto TV. All you need is your respected portable device, and you can pretty much go check out the app, launch it, boom, that's it. Enjoy the shows. Plain and simple. It's as easy as that. No strings attached. But sound off, let me know what you guys had thought about this episode and some of the past few episodes that we've been talking about. And remember, you can catch up on the previous episodes of WoW already in the books that I had covered on demand and on the downloads. All you got to do, if you're checking it out in audio format for on demand and downloads, just search the RCWR Show and you can find all the WoW recap shows that way. YouTube.com/the RCWR Show. There's a WoW Women of Wrestling playlist. You'll find all the episodes that we've been covering, past couple of years. You'll also find some interviews that we did. I'm hoping to line up some interviews real soon. Definitely this calendar year, especially as we get closer and closer to the WoW relaunch date. Definitely want to reach out to some of the folks and WoW, get them talking about this upcoming season and everything. So I'll keep you guys posted on that, but keep your fingers crossed for me on that one. But yeah, there's an entire playlist waiting for you guys to check out. So have at it when you guys get a chance. And other than that, I'm going to say, let's stick a fork in it. DONE, done on that note. Hey, if it's your first time here, welcome. Please, won't you do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button? When you hit that subscribe button, you definitely let me know you enjoyed content like this, and make it be my business to give you more content such as this. Also, feel free to hit that like button. When you hit that like button, you really help supercharge content like this and help make it be more accessible for people to check out. So thanks for using that superpower of yours, as it's free to do and it helps a great ton. And worst case scenario, if you maybe didn't like this and you got up to this point, man, rather than hit the dislike, you can always leave constructive feedback, as I'm always open to ways of improving, right? So yeah, get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords the RCWR Show. And until next go round, my pretty babies, I'm wishing all of you all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. Be well, my friends, and take care.